Hello everybody, I'm Scott Stanton with another edition of the Tombstone Tourist. Today we are at St. Joseph Cemetery in West Roxbury, just outside of Boston. Now this cemetery is known for some very illustrious individuals. Arthur Fiedler of the Boston Pops and John F. Kennedy's grandfather, who was the matriarch of the Kennedy family, is buried here. There's somebody much more notorious buried right here in section 19. It's part of the annex of St. Joseph Cemetery, and it is criminal Whitey Bulger. Now Whitey Bulger is right on the road, as you can see. Now Whitey Bulger ran the south side of Boston from the 70s to the 90s, and he led the crime scene unabated, never arrested, never touched. And the reason was, since 1974, he was a secret informant for the FBI. Now, in addition to that, he was also an informant for the Boston Police Department and the Massachusetts State Police. So he ran with impunity for 20 years. But possibly known, the thing he was most known for, his penchant for violence. He enjoyed it, and he took part in a lot of the killings that he's attributed to. So he just didn't order it as the leader of the Winter Hill Gang. He actually participated in a number of murders. Now he's buried here, and since he ran for 20 years, and then his FBI contact basically tipped him off that he was about to be arrested and go to jail for pretty much the rest of his life, or he went on the run. Now, he had been practicing going on the run, going to Europe, Florida, New Orleans, and he had alternate identities and everything, so he was ready to go. The minute he heard that, he was out of Boston and he was on the run for almost 2 decades. He was caught in Santa Monica, just by the beach, Santa Monica, California, with his then girlfriend, and he was brought back. 2 years later, he was convicted. He was charged with 32 counts, including 19 for murder. He was convicted of 31 and sentenced to basically 2 life prisons. Now, at the age of 89, he was transferred to a West Virginia federal penitentiary after several years, and he was murdered within 2 hours of his arrival. 2 members of a Boston gang that were hitmen murdered him in his cell. He was already in a wheelchair. He was 89 years old. They beat him with a sock with a lock in it, and then they gouged his eyes out. Now, if you come behind this memorial here, you will see something very interesting. Take a look. Whitey Bulger, to this day, is considered the worst rat in organized crime. He is hated among all former mob associates, as well as the innocent people he killed. So thank you for joining me. Again, I'm Scott Stanton, also known as the Tombstone Tourist, and I'm at St. Joseph Cemetery in West Roxbury, Massachusetts. Thank you.